Welcome back, fight fans, to another video here on the Fight Game. In every Manny Pacquiao fight, there has been peril, and therefore there is always glory in the triumph. War after war, Pacquiao delights his fans with his courage of fighting toe-to-toe with every opponent he faces. In boxing, preparing for battle is physical, and more often than not, plans are ineffective, but on the flip side to that coin, planning is also indispensable. For the large majority of Manny Pacquiao's career, he's worked closely alongside longtime trainer Freddie Roach. The epic trainer-student duo has become one of the most recognized in the sport, and its effectiveness is unquestioned. Of course, Boo Boy Fernandez deserves a mention, as he's not only been Pacquiao's co-trainer, but longtime friend. Pacquiao's resume is a long one. The only 8-weight division world champion, the only 5-weight division lineal world champion, the oldest welterweight champion in history, the only boxer to hold a world title in 4 different decades, the only 4-weight glamour division world champion, the only world champion to serve as senator. In boxing, Manny Pacquiao has broken so many world records, he likely has the world record for breaking the most world records. Pacquiao is still chasing more records. When he beat Thurman last year, he scored his 22nd victory over a world champion. If he wins 2 more, he will beat Floyd Mayweather's world record of 23. With over 70 fights to his record, his career is rich of highs and lows. It's had its ups and downs, but his fans have stuck by him all the way. Looking at Manny Pacquiao's career is like looking at a history book, chapters upon chapters of glory and honor. Over a month ago, we made a video looking at some of the most electrifying moments of Manny Pacquiao's career. That video got over 30,000 likes, which is absolutely incredible, and a massive thanks to all of you who showed your support by liking, sharing, and commenting on the video. In this video, we make part 2. Welcome to this video here on the Fight Game, where we once again take a look at some historic moments where Manny Pacquiao defied his opponents and shocked the boxing world. For this video, we start with one of the most significant victories of Manny Pacquiao's career, his glorious win over Mexican Marco Antonio Barrera. Going into this fight, Barrera was recognized as the lineal featherweight champion of the world. The general consensus in the boxing world was that this fight was going to be an easy one for Barrera. But Manny Pacquiao was the ultimate wild card. Barrera had a huge support, and fittingly, De La Hoya was watching ringside. The fight started with Barrera in the white and Pacquiao in the red. Pacquiao began cautiously testing Barrera's defenses with his lead hand in search for an opening to land his laser-like hard left hand. Quickly, Pacquiao landed the left, but then slipped.
That was a slip. Pacquiao is down low.
But then shockingly, the referee called it a knockdown. Pacquiao now with a massive mental burden before the end of only the first round. However, he had to stay focused, and that's what he did. Pacquiao got back to establishing his jab, and now and then he would slip the left hand in behind it. Barrera ended the round with a good body shot. Before we continue, let's take a look at this so-called knockdown. Pacquiao lands the left hand, but seems to trip over Barrera's lead foot. Upon closer look, we see that Barrera actually steps on Pacquiao's foot, resulting in Pacquiao falling over. It was indeed a trip and shouldn't have been called a knockdown. Now let's hear what advice Freddie Roach had in the corner.
Double jab, okay? All right, don't let him lead you. Let's back him up with the double jab, you hear me? With the double jab, left hand.
We hear that Roach is instructing Pacquiao to set up the left hand with a double jab. In the first 5 seconds, Pacquiao lets go of that same combination, and seconds later, the same again. Pacquiao also put his own spin on the instructions by double feinting before the left hand. This is a great example of Pacquiao's disciplined ability to take instructions. As round 2 came to a close, the heat began to rise. Pacquiao and Barrera began to scrap, and the fans were watching an early clash of wills. Going into round 3, there was a welt forming around the eye of Barrera, and quickly Pacquiao would score the first real knockdown of the fight. With the crowd roaring, Pacquiao fought his heart out. The underdog was an underdog no more. It was all Pacquiao. As the rounds went by, it was the Filipino underdog who outfought the Mexican warrior. The speed in both the hands and feet of Manny Pacquiao shocked the American-Mexican crowd. Out of nowhere, this young man from the Philippines arrived onto the scene, and now he was demolishing one of the division's greatest. The blitzing hand speed was piercing the guard of Barrera with ease. For every punch Barrera was landing, Pacquiao landed 3. Then in round 6, Pacquiao seemingly dropped Barrera. However, it was ruled a slip. Let's take a closer look. In slow motion, we can actually see that it should have been ruled a knockdown. So far, Pacquiao had been robbed of 2 points, but it mattered not to Pacquiao. His mental fortress remained intact, and he continued to bulldoze Barrera in the following round. It was the dawning of a new superstar, the coming out party. In round 11, Barrera would get knocked down with exhaustion from the sheer pressure Pacquiao would put on him. What many don't talk about is Pacquiao's fitness. His pace of fighting is almost impossible to keep up with. Pacquiao shortly would continue the onslaught, and Barrera's corner would finally step onto the ring apron to stop the fight. Pacquiao had done it. A legend was born in the ring that night. A superstar of boxing who rose from rags to riches. Pacquiao defied Barrera with heart and speed to score a technical knockout victory in the 11th round.
Oh, I'm super touched to the eyes of the people, but in myself, I don't want to be higher than before.
He means that he wanted to still be humble as he usually is.
The victory sparked a media frenzy, and fans couldn't wait to see more from Manny "Pac-Man" Pacquiao. For the next fight, we take a look at the mega fight between Manny Pacquiao and Miguel Cotto. The fight was fittingly billed as firepower. This was Pacquiao's 7th weight division he ventured into. The only 6-weight world champion ever wanted to push his record further. The fight took place at welterweight. Cotto at the time was a highly respected Puerto Rican warrior with a long string of wins over high-class opponents. If you hadn't guessed already, Pacquiao had a lot of doubters during his career. Every fight they said he had finally went too far, but Pacquiao knows no limits. The fight started cautiously. Pacquiao showed Cotto's power great respect. Cotto kept Pacquiao at bay with the jab. Cotto ended the round strong.
Ducking and slipping, and now tries to get a body shot in on Pacquiao. Cotto is just as fast, and he trades with Pacquiao.
Round 2 was much of the same. Cotto had fought fast fighters before, and he knew how to keep Pacquiao in his cage.
But so far, Cotto's doing all right.
You don't forget, he's landed with his left very good, but still he's landed on a full welterweight now.
Good.
But the tentative easing wouldn't last long.
3-punch combination, Pacquiao. There's the speed advantage for Pacquiao. He starts to open up. Cotto tries to find a place to count. Cotto will keep going there anyway. Good left hook by Miguel Cotto. Crowd comes out of its seat.
And by the end of round 2, each fighter was slugging it out.
Punch. He's not being knocked back. Good body shot by Cotto. Drops Pacquiao in the corner. What a round.
This is what we came for.
The next round started with the crowd chanting Manny, and soon Pacquiao would score the first knockdown.
As Manny was rushing in. Manny landed a little right hook in there and follows up by knocking Cotto down.
The combination was one Pacquiao likes to throw a lot. Jab to the head, left hand to the body, then jab back up to the head. The opponent drops his lead hand for the body shot, leaving an opening upstairs, and then Pacquiao takes advantage with the right hand. This is also the same combination that knocked Thurman down. However, after the knockdown, it was actually Cotto who fought back valiantly and ended up dominating most of the round.
because of all the speed he's seen.
That's Manny's rhythm to go in and out and punch on his
Left
toes.
hook countered by Cotto landed.
We see
Knocks
it.
Pacquiao back.
Round 4 continued with back and forth action.
This is the most we've seen Pacquiao getting hit in recent fights.
Uppercut snaps Pacquiao's head back.
Punches which Manny is known for.
Flurry of punches for Pacquiao. Cotto finally answers back.
When Pacquiao laid against the ropes, Cotto landed hard blows to the body and head, but then Pacquiao returned with a flurry of his own and ended up scoring another knockdown.
With something big. Now it's Cotto whose back is against the rope, and he fights his way off and goes down again.
Pacquiao's an incredibly difficult boxer to face because of his ability to throw punches from all sorts of angles. Cotto got back up and continued fighting, and even though Cotto seemed to be the one scoring more, Pacquiao was taking Cotto's shots really well. Pacquiao kept walking Cotto down, resulting in Cotto getting fatigued from all the movement he was doing to avoid a frontal confrontation. Soon Pacquiao got to Cotto in the corner. Cotto quickly grew tired and Pacquiao took advantage of that.
Well, we can't see the punches coming.
Pacquiao's godlike fitness is what separates him from the rest. It now seemed the end was near as Pacquiao proceeded in the continuation of a vicious assault.
Does he want to close the show?
I think that Pacquiao
Does he want to close it right now?
Pacquiao scored a technical knockout victory in the 12th round.
And was talked out of it by the others in the corner, including head trainer Joe Santiago. Now Kenny Bayless does his duty.
Pacquiao had once again done the improbable. He defied Cotto with pure greatness. There's a reason why he's regarded by some to be the best boxer in the sport. Beating Miguel Cotto is one of many.
We thought Manny Pacquiao was great. He's better than we thought.
For the next one, we go far into the past for old time's sake. We go back to over 21 years ago to December of 1998, where he won his first world title. The fight took place at the 112-pound division, and he came up against Charchai Sasakul. Sasakul was a boxer from Thailand, and the fight took place on his home turf. At the time, Sasakul had 32 wins and only 1 loss. Pacquiao at the time had 23 wins and 1 loss. They both were fast boxers, and the combined 54 wins made the matchup very exciting. The fight started with Pacquiao pushing forward. We can see here even over 20 years ago, Pacquiao's straight left hand was the money shot.
Good left hand there from Pacquiao.
His in and out movement of the feet is something that's deeply rooted into his style.
Deep flyweight title contest between the champion Charchai Sasakul and Manny Pacquiao has reached around, leaving that guard a little bit low at times as well. Left hand came through there.
In the 8th round, Pacquiao got the job done with a hard left hand.
Got above a hit. It looks like he's starting to puff a little bit, and down he goes. Well, there was a...
We can see Pacquiao simply flicked the jab to measure up the distance, then after that, he replaced it with a laser-like left hand. Manny Pacquiao's reign had officially begun. Next up, we look at the fight between Manny Pacquiao and Ricky Hatton. The fight was billed as the Battle of East and West. It took place at the light welterweight limit of 140 pounds. Before the fight, both fighters had a friendly game of darts.
Oh, he doesn't get right. Ricky wants double 2.
Hatton would win, but of course it was the fight results that truly mattered. Lots of people are aware of this knockout against Hatton, but very few know the technicality behind how it was made possible. The fight started with Hatton moving forward in a straight line. Pacquiao timed a fallback right hook. The fallback right hook is a signature shot from Manny Pacquiao. He lets his body fall to his back leg when his opponent throws. This makes the opponent overextend and consequently leaves an opening. Pacquiao has done this famously against Margarito. Pacquiao lands this punch seconds later again. Pacquiao soon landed this punch a 3rd time, but Hatton would not be so lucky this time around.
3-4, very heavy looking punches, he really let them go there, and a right hand, puts hand on the floor, he still has the power even at this weight.
Pacquiao had become familiar with the timing of the punch, and he was able to intercept Hatton's left hand with it this time. Pacquiao would knock down Hatton another time before the end of the round.
Survival mode here, but close to he's down again, he's being caught
Hatton made it to round 2 but would soon be ultimately knocked out.
Champion all the way from flyweight through to lightweight. Oh, that might end it. Massive left hand.
Let's take a closer look at this punch. Pacquiao falls back on his left leg like he did when he scored his first knockdown. Pacquiao extends his right arm to give the illusion that he was repeating the same punch, but Pacquiao actually comes up with a left hook instead of a right. I personally like to call this rhythmic deception. Hatton was anticipating the same punch and was in no way prepared for the pulverizing left hand that came from down low. This knockout won the Knockout of the Year award in 2009. It was at this stage where Manny Pacquiao looked to be in his absolute prime. Manny Pacquiao, forever defying the environment he's in, forever great. He'll go down as one of the greatest boxers of all time. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider giving it a like as it helps us grow the channel. If you'd like to see us make a part 3 to this video, let us know in the comment section below. We'll see you in the next video here on The Fight Game.